Hi there guys, Sam here. Welcome back to another video where I'm going to go through, comparing the new Audi S3 and should you go for one over a new Mk8 Golf R. So yeah, I'll get straight into the video really. So yes, welcome back to another video. Really exciting week actually this week. Lots of new news that came out. Latest on the Audi S3, information on that as well, which I've done a video on. And it kind of gave a little bit more of an idea of what kind of the Mk8 Golf R is going to be like. If you're not familiar with these kind of like VW products, they're in the same group essentially. They're just marketed slightly different for different people. And in theory, one of the main questions, particularly as a Mark 7 Golf R owner, was, should you go for one over an Audi S3? Because essentially they are the exact same car. It's the same Haldex system, same gearbox. It's identical. It's there is no different other than the badge and the slightly posher interior that you get with Audis. Now, because of that, I went for the Mark 7 Golf R because apparently it was allegedly better to drive somehow, had better driving dynamics. I don't really know if that's true. I've never driven an Audi S3. I've been in plenty, but I haven't driven one. And also from a price factor, the Golf R was better value, and I wasn't too fussed about the interior because the Golf R's interior is really, really nice. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of leather seats in a car, and I preferred the cloth Alcantara type seats as well. So it was a no-brainer for me to go for the Mark 7 Golf R. Still have it today, absolutely love it, share it plenty on this channel. Now, I am aware that the Audi S3 is not available in as many countries as the Mark 8 or the Mark 7 Golf R, essentially, when that came out. I'm not 100% sure if it's been available in America. Again, my subscribers can comment and let me know. I think a few of you did say that in my previous video on the Audi S3 that I did this week. And I'm not too sure where other regions of the world, if you're in Australia, South Africa, wherever you are, it's interesting to know if they actually sell the Audi S3 there. Maybe they brand it slightly different. But in the UK anyway, they sell both and they are essentially the exact same car. And now that the two new boys are out, essentially, you've got the Mark 8 Golf R and the new Audi S3. The question's going to be, would you buy one over the other? Now, going back again, like I said, if I was comparing between the two, I'd choose a Mark 7 Golf R because for me, the interior wasn't the biggest deal. Price was a good factor, all of that stuff. And again, that's kind of why I've been a little bit like, well, the Mark 8 Golf R isn't like the world's greatest step up, as you can see to the right of me. I'll enlarge the image as well. It's not like it's not seeming like a huge game changer. I'm at the moment comparing the same that they are going to have both the same power as the S3 and very similar power to the Mark 7 Golf R for about 300 PS, around about that amount. And particularly with all the new emissions legislation and OPF filters and stuff, you just wonder what sort of car it's going to turn out to be. Although quickly on that, I did see a sound test video of the new Mark 8 GTI, and it actually sounded pretty good actually from the outside, particularly for a car 245 PS in that kind of category. It sounded really nice actually. So maybe VW, other manufacturers have worked a little bit on the fact that, well, they have to have this essential mask suffocating the sound of the engine before it gets through to the exhaust. And they've managed to work around it so that it actually sounds a little bit better. They can only do so much, but maybe they have done that. Incidentally, the GTI also had some pops and bangs, which was a little bit surprising because I thought that had kind of almost been outlawed basically in the EU. Again, ignore me if you're in America or other regions because your cars are going to sound great for the foreseeable. Depends how much it pushes towards emissions and all that kind of stuff in your region. But in the EU and Europe and all that kind of stuff, it's really tightening up and it's making it very difficult for car enthusiasts on that side. And going back onto that, so the Mark 8 Golf R, at the moment, all I'm seeing is a different look. I think that picture looks really nice. I like the colour and the wheels and everything about it, and the 4 exhaust and the spoiler. I think it's a cool car. And yeah, the interior is this big thing with the big screens and everything's touchscreen and everything's virtual, and it's like that always feels to me like as a driver you just feel more detached from the actual engagement of the car. And also the money that I pay for the car is going for something that I'm not necessarily that interested or in that, you know, bothered about. I've never been that kind of person in a car. I want a car that's, you know, don't get me wrong, if it has okay tech, great, but amount of times, you know, I don't use any of it in my Mark 7 Golf R. I'll stick it on like the cool performance dials which appear on there, and maybe check out economy every now and then and oil temps and stuff. That's it. I never use the nav. Yeah, you know, you play music through it. You don't need to see anything when you're doing that. So it's like, just use your phone. Now then, the Audi S3 looks, to my eye, particularly in the other one, I think it looks slightly better. It looks a little bit sharper. Audi seems to do that. I love the look of the previous S3. This one looks great as well. The interior look is to die for. It's a fantastic interior. In fact, I'll pull it up on screen so I can see it and you guys can see it as well. It's really good. The way the vents are placed, the way it's sort of angled towards the driver with the screen. Okay, it's all touchscreen, it's all going to get smudged, but it looks so good. And because, again, part of the same group, they own Lamborghini, which is quite cool. It almost has that kind of look, which is really a great place to be. And you're sitting in that driver's seat. That is a good thing to think about. And that is a real seller, really. It certainly looks better than the, you know, what we've seen of the Mark 8's interior. I have to see what the Golf R interior is going to be like. But I think that's a great place to be. Now, if, okay, I've just said that tech isn't the biggest thing to me, but tech aside, I just think it's a very classy thing, something that Audi do well, and that's how Audi, that's why they market it in that way. It's a slightly posher, slightly more premium car. You will have to pay more for that. How much more is a really big question, something I've thought about this week as well. What's the price difference between these cars? You know, the Audi S3's already come out in hatchback form. It's going to cost £37,500 in the UK. How much more is that going to be than the Mark 8 Golf R? Because it is going to be more, is the big question. You know, if they're going to try and sell the Mark 8 Golf R for £36,000, it's not a massive difference, particularly, well, most people anyway gets their cars and stuff on finance and leasing. So that is quite interesting. Okay, you're going to get more discounts from VW than you are from Audi, but it's not, you know, it's not night and day price difference. And at the end of the day, that's where you're sitting all the time. If, you know, the driving dynamics are very similar, all of that kind of stuff, it kind of does ask a bigger question again of which, you know, would you go for the S3 over the Golf R? Golf R has such a huge following. I don't know too much about the S3 following, to be honest. It's never really been talked about. No, you know, I'm in a few owners group of the Golf R. It's not really mentioned that much. I've run this channel mainly around the Golf R for the last couple of years. It doesn't really come up that much. Maybe because it's not available as widely as in different regions as the Golf R. But I'm really intrigued to see the difference between this and the Mark 8 Golf R. I think a lot about comparing the Mark 7 to it and stuff, but, you know, this is the era that we're in. We're in this era of, you know, strange emissions and obviously difficult times with COVID and all this kind of stuff. So they're kind of competing on a bit more of a level playing field, the new Audi S3 and the new Mark 8 Golf R. And quality on the S3, I think is going to be really, really good. And just from the pictures, I really feel that, because the Mark 8 Golf R just seems to have dropped that quality. And in fact, the Mark 7 Golfs and Golf Rs seem better. I've mentioned that in previous videos as well. You're not going to have any of those like limitations in the Audi. They're going to give it everything it's got. And in fact, getting a car which has been purposely lowered a little bit as a price is never really a great thing. They made it work with the Mark 7 Golf R for me because back in 2014, they weren't necessarily looking for a massive game changer. They didn't have any other R models in the range. It was just try something, see how it works, and it worked very, very well. They're in 2020 now. They've got R models in practically every single car that they make. And it's a different proposition entirely. It's more of a global kind of thing. Sold in 48 countries. It's massive. It's huge. And has that lost its touch? I think is the interesting thing. But at the moment, I'm probably, if I was looking between the two, and a few subscribers and people who comment on my channel have said the same, Audi S3 might just be edging ahead, which is not something I kind of thought about before. I think the Golf R probably has the name now because it's built up that reputation. Almost, it'll be interesting to see in many years to come if it, yeah, maybe it'll get passed over into the electric kind of evolution, and it'll become as sort of iconic as, say, like the Golf GTI and stuff. But hey, we'll have to see. But let me know your thoughts between the Audi S3 and the Mk8 Golf R. Yeah, which one would you go for? Because I think it's a really, really interesting topic, and yeah, I hope my thoughts have kind of been useful to you lot. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the views and support, particularly recently as well. It's been huge for the channel over the last couple of years as well. It's been fantastic. I really do hope you've all been enjoying the content, because there's plenty more to come on my channel. But have a fantastic rest of your day. Yeah, exciting stuff ahead. Well, we'll know more about the Mk8 Golf R in due course, and you'll hear it here first. I've got a few more videos coming up as well, and obviously, because this is an active channel, I enjoy doing it, and yeah, you'll always see content as long as I'm around. But yeah, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers, guys.